Good evening guys, it's James here at Sunseeker Southampton in a very sunny Swanwick marina, and we're doing another follow-up to what we did the 76 yacht the other evening, just showing how easy it was to manoeuvre the boat. Tonight we're just going to take this 74 Predator off the dock, turn her around so that we can put her back in ready for the 76 coming in next week. So just two of us are going to take this out, literally be a very quick clip today just to show how the manoeuvrability works with the throttle and thrusters. Again, this boat's got the upgrade with the hydraulic thrusters, two big 1900 horsepower V12 engines, plenty of power there. We're obviously only going to use a fraction of that today. Just spin round so you can see what we're dealing with. So we're in the berthing pool as always. We've got a bit of space behind us here, but the fairway here is always not quite wide enough for us to turn round with all 74 feet of boat. So we're going to run out all the way to the river there, literally spin her around, and in that time hopefully we'll be able to get the fender swapped over and we're back in, put her in reverse process in the corner here. Check back in a bit and we'll let you see how it all works. So just doing a quick startup procedure. We've unplugged the shore power lead already, so we're just going to come up here in the cockpit. Battery switch cupboard here on the 74s is just when you first come on board. Obviously no covers on at the moment, so we just three of those on, one for each of the respective engine batteries and one for the domestics. Open the doors up here. Door opens right back here on the starboard side, and we have an array of different switches here, so let's have a guess, see if we can get the right one. There we go, first time. So this is all now going to drop down into the floor, which is going to give us great visibility, seamless view from the helm up there on the starboard. Forward, looking all the way through the cockpit here to the stern. Obviously just the single driving position on the boat here. You've got the option for a second station in the cockpit if you need it, or generally as common on these sort of things you'll see a full remote system. Beautiful boat, the 74. Ran this back up from pool a couple of weeks back, gets on for 38 knots flat out. There's a good walk around video on the channel just to show you what she's like out and running. So we come up to the helm, you'll see obviously things like the CM8 here coming into life, showing battery voltages and what have you. Everything's still turned off on the engine side here. So down here underneath the dash, I'm just going to turn our ignitions on. You'll hear the engine fans have just come on in the cockpit there. And of course, quick double tap on the throttles, brings them into life, and you can see now we've got neutral on the gearboxes. And down here, we're just going to do start, and you'll hear them fire into life. So handy feature right next to the helm here, of course, is the starboard door. So just going to turn that on, unlock the catches, which you'll see just opened here, top and bottom. And we can open that door up now, which makes my visibility down the side of the boat much more straightforward. Down here we've got the hydraulic thruster controls. We're just going to turn those on. Check. Quick blip on those both ways, just to check we've got power on there, and then we're just going to momentarily knock it into gear just to check that we've got engine control. Don't need to worry about anything on the top screens here today, but if we just come down and accept on this little gizmo, we've now got the rudder angle. You'll see at the bottom there, as I turn the steering wheel here, you'll see that's giving us a display as to where the rudders are underneath. So I'm going to do all my manoeuvring with everything centre line there on 0 degrees. So just with a single crew, Stuart as always, so we're just going to drop lines off bow and stern. I think we may just about have enough room, you know, to turn this boat round in here. So what I might do is just stick the stern out here, we'll stick the nose over here, and we'll see if we can get all the way round. It might be quite tight, but we never know till we have a go. See what happens. So we're just about to depart to dock. Give Stuart the all clear. So you see the boat's staying in position at the moment as I put the proportional control on there, holding the thrusters over here, pinning us on the pontoon. So if we just come across here, you can see that current now as the thrusters pin us on the dock. Just gets a bit more time for him to sort things out. So you can see out of the side door here, we've got piers all the way from the stern up to the bow there. So I'm just going to take my thrusters off, and we're just going to ease the boat back. You can see just drifting off the dock here nicely. Hopefully we're going to have just enough room to drop the stern back into this corner. We might be able to go all the way around without having to take it out into the main river. So you see, just looking over the side here, little boat in the back there. So just little touches on the throttle here, just to nudge it backwards. Obviously got to get enough room for this bow to come round and clear the anchor over on this side. Not quite sure yet whether we're going to have enough room to do this, but we can have a look. What do you think, Stu? Not too much. As you can see, we're quite tight over on the nose of that 55 there. I think we're just going to be a little bit too tight in here, so I think we're going to have to do what we planned to originally. This is always why it's good to just have a little look, see what we can do. So we're just going to move the boat forward here, and we're going to spin the boat now. We're going to have to go out, unfortunately, so it was always worth a look. See, we're still quite tight even doing this forwards, as we've got the nose of this 60 Predator over here. They're very docile, doing all of this just on the throttle controls here. Just going to use a little bit of thruster there just to slow us down, and then we're going to back up here out into the main river channel. As you can see, just nudging it momentarily on the throttle controls here, one then the other. You can see the boat's backing down pretty straight here at the moment. We've got the wind coming from our starboard side. Hopefully we won't be met by anybody when we get out to the main river channel here. Stu will be able to just tour us. MAN 1900s. That's one in tick over. So we're nearly out in the main channel here. Just a quick look round us to make sure nothing's coming. And what I'm going to do here, so this one's still in reverse. I'm just going to stick this one into a head. You can see we're doing almost a J turn on the boat here. A little bit of power on the front there just to help it nose swing round there. Just let the boat settle back down. See, we're going to spin back round, ready to reverse back in. You hear it beeping each time I put it in and out of gear, which will just give you an idea of how I'm using the controls. You can see now we're almost back round straight again. So just a momentary nudge. And off we go in reverse. So we're going to back down again. See, obviously it's a nice view out the side door here. You can see all the way down the side deck. Lovely Portofino 47 there, sort of 2007 vintage. So depending on whether you're comfortable looking over your shoulder when you're doing this, you can obviously see I've now switched hands and I'm on my left hand, and this is quite then intuitive. As I effectively touch the controls here, what I'm controlling is directly going on behind me. So if I put the port engine into a stern like that, it brings the back of the boat across this way, and if I put the starboard engine into a stern, it brings the back across this way. So everything is reversed, but standing this way round, as you're obviously not needing to worry about using steering input, we can bring the boat down absolutely pretty much arrow straight. See, we're not using the thrusters, they're there when we need them. Boat weighs around 45 tons, so quite a big lump to move around. You see all those people up in the cafe there that are just willing us to get this wrong, like they always do, so hopefully this will go to plan. So I'm just going to use a little bit of bow thrust to start bringing my bow over to the port side. See down here, just got to keep an eye out for the anchor on the bow of that 60 there. So when I get about a third of the way past that boat, I'm going to start spinning her in. See, Stu's just swapping the fenders over, so I'm going to keep the stern reasonably close to this bow roller here, coming in around 1.5 to 2 knots at the moment. Still a little bit of momentum on, just makes our manoeuvring a bit more straightforward. See, we've pretty much cleared the anchor there, so we're just going to have a quick look around the front, check we're all good. We're pretty much in now. Certainly we've got the clearance on the front, clearance down the side, and the wind is now on my starboard side. You see from the flags up there, it's actually blowing us in, so I'm just going to actually thrust her a little bit away from the dock here, just to slow us down as we approach in, as the wind's going to do the job for us now. So we're just going to let it drift in. I can't obviously see the back of the boat from here, so handy addition if you're ever buying something like this, look at having a CCTV system. It's quite handy with a stern camera if you haven't got your crew to talk you in. But we're just doing a nice, what's called a ferry glide here, so the wind's just literally bringing us in. You see Stuart's just calling us in meters at the back there, not swearing at us, I promise. So just as we get in, he's going to be able to step off. So I'm just again using the thrusters here a little bit just at a time, just to ease us off where that wind's going to blow us on. So he wants to come back a bit, so we're just going to nudge it back a bit. Now I could now, in theory, leave the helm here to go and help do lines, but it's just better. I prefer always to have somebody on the helm with something as heavy as this. We can take a reference point depending on what the tide's doing, looking at the wall here, just to check we don't drift forwards and backwards. We can of course put some thruster on here if we wanted to now. We can pin the boat on the dock. You can see that's now, see the thrust kicking out over the side there. It's holding the boat very much in place. The wind's just taking us backwards a tiny little bit, so I'm just going to nudge it into forward. So of course we can do the throttle and thruster controls at the same time. Just about there. We can have a quick look, see what we're looking like. So a little bit of space up the back. You can see obviously the thrusters are still running. There's the current from the thruster there. But she's nicely tied up. We're all good. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a very quick one this evening, just to show how this works slightly differently to that 70-60 the other evening. Check back soon for a little bit more of this.